special day. I can just feel the energy. We are the First Universalist Society in Franklin, a diverse and liberal congregation that is welcoming and inclusive. At this time, we come together in this sacred space to respectfully listen, share, and be present with one another. Open your minds, your hearts, and your souls, and take a risk to grow with us. Many paths led us here. Welcome. This is a very special Sunday morning for FUSF. We are thrilled to welcome the Reverend Eric Cherry to the pulpit as our ministerial candidate. Let me read to you just a few words from the Ministerial Search Committee. Eric is a warm, kind, articulate, intelligent, engaging, humble, down to and just all around nice person. Does that sound like you? We instantly felt a connection with him. As we got to know Eric and his wife Linda better, we kept saying we can't wait for FUSF to meet him. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery. Life is a round mystery. Where do we come from? Mystery. Life is a round mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery, life is a round of mystery. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?
Be here. Be here now. Be here now together. Be. Even if in recent days you have felt dismissed, dehumanized, or disregarded. Be here, even if there are 1,000 places that you love. Be here now, even in this hour, in this moment, even if you are remembering or foretelling here now. Be here now together, even if community is a risk. Bring all of who you are. You are welcome. And be here now together in and on this circling, swirling, turning space in this moment of creation. And in that spirit, we'll join together in singing our first hymn. It's number 163 in the gray hymnal, For the Earth Forever Turning. And if you would please rise in body or spirit as you are able.
This is by the late, great Harry Cherry.
All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. The seasons spinning around again, the years keep rolling by.
Please join us in the chorus.
All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. The seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. Seems like I've been here before, I can't remember when, but I got this funny feeling that we'll all be together again. There's no straight lines make up my life, and all my roads have ends. There's no clear-cut beginnings, and so far no ends. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. Moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by.
I found you 1,000 times, guess you've done the same. Then we lose each other, it's just like a children's game.
As I see you here again, the thought runs through my mind. Our love is like a circle, let's go round one more time. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. Moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. Seasons spinning around again, the years keep rolling by. All my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. Moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. The seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. The seasons spinning round again, the years keep rolling by.
Now we reach out to each other beyond difference. We reach out to each other beyond experience, beyond words. Firmly held by creation's glory and by holy power that is beyond our ability to name well. We reach out with humility, confessing and renewing. We reach out boldly, witnessing and holding. We reach out in weakness and in strength, seeking an ear, an eye, a heart, a hand, or just another chance. May you be given what you seek. May it be enough to nourish your soul for all that is coming. May it remind you of where you've been and free you. May it bring simple clarity and strength to be here, now, to be here now together in this shared stillness. When I was a teenager, I spent many of my summers at a UU summer camp that wasn't quite Ferry Beach, but it was an island off the coast of Portsmouth, New Hampshire, called Star Island. And in one of those formative summers in an early teenage year, the youth advisors for the group of us that were there shared a poem that has stayed with me over the years, and I would share it with you this morning. It's titled Ithaca, written by the Greek-Egyptian poet C.P. Cavafy, and it has one word in it that hardly any typical person would have ever heard of before. That word is Lystragonians, and that word means giant flesh-eating monsters. You can think of them as zombies. As you set out for Ithaca, hope the voyage is a long one, full of adventure, full of discovery. Lystragonians and Cyclops, angry Poseidon, don't be afraid of them. You'll never find things like that on your way, as long as you keep your thoughts raised high. As long as a rare excitement stirs your spirit and your body. Lystragonians and Cyclops, wild Poseidon, you won't encounter them unless you bring them along inside your soul, unless your soul sets them up in front of you. Hope the voyage is a long one. May there be many a summer morning when with what pleasure, what joy, you come into harbors seen for the first time. May you stop at Phoenician trading stations to buy fine things, mother of pearl and coral, amber and ebony, sensual perfume of every kind, as many sensual perfumes as you can. And may you visit many Egyptian cities to gather stories of knowledge from their scholars. Keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you're destined for. But do not hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years, so you are old by the time you reach the island, wealthy with all you have gained on the way, not expecting Ithaca to make you rich. Ithaca gave you the marvelous journey. Without her, you would not have set out, and she has nothing left to give you now. And if you find her poor, Ithaca won't have fooled you. Wise as you will have become, so full of experience, you will have understood by then what these Ithacas mean. And so, candidating week begins. Colleagues recently described it as death by potluck dinner. That's just clergy humor, comic relief, in the midst of something that I and we and all of us cherish and worry about and dive deeply into, just like life. This morning is a chance to begin moving together on a journey. I'll try to keep that from getting too cliche, along a path that is only dimly lit, incompletely charted, and without a precise destination. Though I suspect we share something like an Ithaca, a hope, an idea, a space to move toward a direction that is calling with each other. Impressions of that space are shaped by individual memories of time spent there in the past, or glimmers that we may have caught of that place in the distance. And of course, expectations, hopes, and dreams that we carry with us day after day. Like a precious gem with endless facets, each of us only sees through our own point of view, through the eye of the beholder, but we all see the purpose. We all hear the call. We all want to go. But to travel together, we'll need to employ the beauty of harmony and rhyme so beautifully demonstrated by your choir and by the quartet and by the duet and by all of you in our singing this morning. It nearly brought me to tears. Now, there is no straight line toward Ithaca, or whatever name you might choose. But agreeing how we proceed, how we face challenges we bring with us, and how we encounter others that could not possibly have been predicted. That is the early preparation before us today. And a piece of that preparation is knowing where we have been, reflecting back along the spiraling, circling paths that we have followed to today. This morning is a bit about my circling, and over the week, the precious gift of knowing more about each of yours. And next Sunday, a celebration of what we can be together on this path toward Ithaca. May it be a blessing. And I begin by getting something out of the way because I keep hearing it like a refrain from friends and colleagues after they share best wishes and joy at you and I finding each other, after they see that amazing video that you took of yourselves a few weeks ago at the success of your ministerial search committee. After sharing their best wishes, inevitably they say to me, "Are you out of your mind?" Secure job, fairly unpredictable 9-to-5 work. Some would say the best job at the Unitarian Universalist Association. Why in the world would you go back into the unpredictable, sometimes 24/7 on-call and chaotic work of congregational ministry? What are you thinking? And why now? Why indeed? Maybe you've wondered too. Each time I face that question, I shrug and grin. There is no good answer, except that I know it's where I need to be. If anything, I've delayed, held back, avoided a path that I know isn't going away for far too long. I chose to follow Jonah, setting the call aside, delaying the trip to Nineveh. I learned about the security that can be found even within the belly of Leviathan. No doubt, even some benefit, some difference was made chasing the path of global ministry that I came to love, but I held and offered to you the wisdom of Anthony Lezioni, who said, burning bridges behind you is understandable. It's the bridges before us that we burn, not realizing we may need to cross, that brings regret. It's my good fortune that the match may have been lit, but the bridge is yet intact. And the signs pointing me to return have been clear, sometimes even flashing in neon for quite some time. Signs that I've been on something of an extended detour all these years, a splendid and blessed one, but a detour nonetheless. Sometimes these signs have been in the form of memories, sometimes dreams, and occasionally moments of clarity. Let me share one of the latter with you and allude to some of the former. A couple of weeks ago, I was in New York City in the midst of a somewhat grueling multi-week business trip, doing things that I care about and love, and glad for that. And I was staying at an Airbnb for the 4 nights that I was in Manhattan. It was a tiny bedroom in a 2-bedroom flat. Knowing that I wouldn't be spending much time there, the thought of saving some money appealed to me greatly. And that turned out to be true. I was there very little. But on the last night, I arrived back at that bedroom after a very long day at the UU United Nations office's annual spring seminar at around 10 o'clock in the evening. And the kind owner of the Airbnb, Adam, knocked on my bedroom door, and I thought probably to finalize check-out procedures. Instead, he said, you know, I'm inviting a few friends over for a little party tonight. Would I please join them? Well, I had a pretty early morning ahead of me, which I told him, but I didn't want to be rude, and so I said yes, maybe for a little while. Now I need to set the context for you a little bit. He, Adam, is probably in his mid-20s. And as people began to arrive, they were all pretty much the same age. And we crowded into a small space with the music and the music videos you might expect filling the air, and the vodka drinks began to be poured, and I was already a sore thumb, twice the age of just about anyone in the room, and something of an object of curiosity. Well, you can predict what the conversation turned to, I'm sure. What brings you to New York? What kind of work do you do? And, as is the case with many clergy in similar circumstances, I briefly considered saying that I work in a grocery store or something random. But the angel on my shoulder had my attention, and so I gave them the true short version: clergyman, minister, doing international program management for our denominational headquarters. And yes, the room froze. But people picked their jaws up off the floor, and this fun spirit returned, and as you'd expect, 3 or 4 of the people found a moment to chat with me about what they do. Mostly recent college grads trying to find their own vocations in media, theater, tech, etc. Only one, a Reformed Jew by family, had heard of Unitarian Universalism, and he declared that I had to be cool. Or at least cool enough. A longer conversation happened with 2 others, one of whom had recently left Mormonism. I put down my drink and listened. Hypocrisy, she said, brought her out, and some dogmas that she couldn't wrap her mind around. But she so missed the tight, family-centered aspects of the religion very much. And when she expressed interest, I testified about Unitarian Universalism and why I love and need it myself. I even told her about the terrific young adult community at some of the local New York City congregations. A very soft sell, no pressure, just informational. And who knows, she just might take a risk. A courageous step into one of those congregations someday when she is curious or in need. I pray that she finds sanctuary when she needs it. Why do I share this story with you? Because it was one of those neon signs flashing for me that parish ministry is where I need to be, leading a community that takes it seriously and prepares to welcome a person like her. In my heart and soul, that matters. And it brings other moments and examples quickly to mind. Once upon a time, someone looking for sanctuary from fear, or was it loss, or was it loneliness, entered a sacred space. This person didn't really care about theology, covenants, committee meetings, or even coffee hour. This person just didn't know how to find the strength to meet the coming day. I saw this person enter a pew, drop to her knees, and begin to weep. I saw this person stand up to sing, and his voice filled the room with hope. I saw this person scanning the gathered community from the back of the church, wondering what the heck they were thinking when they stepped through the door for the first time. Once upon a time, and 1,000 times since, I've seen that person after worship coming back to life. Sometimes that person has been me. Maybe it's been you. Sometimes it's been someone I knew and loved and to whom I was even able to say a helpful word. And sometimes it's been a friend or companion for whom no word could possibly have made a difference. As we come to know each other, the truest thing I can tell you about me is that I cherish that person, the thousands of them. I believe that person matters, that they have a claim on us, and that the church and its ministers have a responsibility to them. Not to fix, perhaps to advise, not to change, not to take over, but to invite onto this journey of joy, purpose, and meaning that we're on together. Walt Whitman, to whom I owe the title of this sermon, went on to write in that poem, "Camarado, I give you my hand. I give you my love, more precious than money. I give you myself before preaching or law. Will you give me yourself? Will you come travel with me? Shall we stick by each other as long as we live?" Those lines have been a blessing for dozens of couples during weddings and holy union ceremonies during my years of ministry, and I think they're kind of magical. Although not easy to live up to, and not magical enough apparently to keep every one of those once wedlocked couples together today. But there are words as good for a church to hold on to as they are for a marriage. Call them words of provision. Something to toss in the backpack as we set out on unclear paths. And there will be other things in the backpack that will be important along the way. You know, there's a rumor out there that all you really need on a journey is a passport and a smartphone. My point of view is that there are items of value and purpose that can't be replaced by a screen, although believe me, I'll be taking my smartphone with me as well. But for example, I could probably find this collection of Robert Frost's poems online and read it on my device, but I'm going to bring this one, which was a gift from my father when I was too young to really know what these poems were about. I carry it with me as an important reminder. I'm going to bring with me a bag of leftover Easter jelly beans. This is a ritual gift from my mother that she began to send when I left home for the first time. And when I enjoy them with intention, I taste her love and support with each. Have one. The wrapped ones are sugar-free options if that's your path. I bring a bell. A bell that rings for me a religious lesson from Transylvania about perseverance in faith, joy even during struggle, and the great gift of our Unitarianism, which we are inheritors of and bear responsibility for. It also serves as a gift to give to others along the way. I'll bring a towel. Douglas Adams, the author of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, wouldn't forgive one of his readers if they didn't. Yes, I'll bring a portable charger for my device, not just for the practical purposes, but as a reminder that power is out there and available even during times of feeling empty. I'll bring a commuter mug because you never know when you're going to have a chance to top off. And of course, a sun visor. You can ignore the branding or not. Is as close as my own skin is Linda. And I pray that you'll come to know her grace and wisdom. She goes with me, and I go with her, either in spirit or in person. Anything else is unimaginable. Oh, there's more, of course, from the tangible changes of clothing, a multi-tool deodorant, breath mints, and the intangible, ethics, both those embodied and those striving toward. Stories to share and remind you about who you are, and sustenance beyond jelly beans. Bring your heroes with you and be aware of the villains and villainous ideas that inhabit our backpacks. Sometimes we carry these just beyond our awareness. We carry so many privileges, powerful ones, often unearned, some that are. Better to know them, discard or bend them toward justice than to be surprised by their power wielded with ugliness. And then, with the backpack shouldered, it's time to gather the courage and strength and set off. It's not enough to prepare, one must go. Some journeys, some zigzags, some detours, and some returns to the path are more profound than others, but it never hurts to hold on to Justina Chen's reflection from North of Beautiful. She wrote, "There must be a few times in life when you stand at a precipice of a decision, when you know there will forever be a before and an after. I knew there would be no turning back if I designated this moment as my own prime meridian from which everything else would be measured." Where was yours, your prime meridian? And from Aaron Lauritzon's reflection from his 100-day drive, the great North American road trip, he wrote, "At some point, you just gotta forgive the past. Your happiness depends on it. And then go in that light-hearted spirit that is not held back or held down by regret. Go at 18, 28, 48, at 98. Go, Lech Lecha in Hebrew, told to patriarch and matriarch, prophet and disciple. Go forth, afoot and light-hearted, aware of the significance. Even if you go in circles, even if you are spiraling, remember the lesson from Heraclitus that no one ever steps in the same river twice. Go forth, journey together. And what we will find in Ithaca? Well, perhaps she will be poor. Perhaps what we find will be what we have discovered along the way. On arrival, if we are most fortunate, we'll have the vision to see how we have gotten there, and our hearts will be glad in it. It is the getting there, the preparations, the setting out, the work, and the love along the way that matters. And that is the ministry I cherish with you being here now together on this Blue Boat Home. Let's join together in singing our closing hymn, number 1064 in the teal hymnal, Blue Boat Home.